9th October is not an ordinary day. It carries a quiet strength, a gentle push from the universe that says, stop fighting what already is. Healing begins the moment you stop resisting, the moment you stop running from your pain and start facing it with calm eyes. The body starts to remember how to restore itself. The mind softens. The heart breathes again. 9th October becomes the day when the energy of resistance finally breaks and what you have been holding back for so long begins to flow again. You've spent months, maybe years trying to fix control and understand everything. But true healing doesn't come from control. It comes from surrender. When you resist, you tighten your energy, you close your heart, and you block the natural rhythm of recovery. Healing isn't something you chase. It's something that arrives when you stop pushing it away. On the 9th October, life invites you to release the need to fight with your story, to stop asking why it happened, and to begin trusting that it had to. The healing you've been searching for was never hiding. It was waiting for you to stop resisting its arrival. Think of a wound on your skin. When you keep touching it, reopening it, it never closes. But the moment you leave it in peace, your body knows what to do. The same law applies to the wounds you carry within. The moment you stop resisting the pain, your spirit starts to knit itself together again. The energy that was once trapped in anger, in self-pity, in confusion, begins to return to you as clarity and strength. 9th October is a reminder that your body and soul already know how to heal. You only need to stop interfering with the process. Resisting life has become a habit. Every time something uncomfortable happens, the first reaction is to deny, to escape, to numb. But resistance only multiplies pain. It keeps you stuck in a circle of exhaustion because every time you push something away, it pushes back harder. 9th October comes to remind you that acceptance isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It means you have grown enough to understand that not everything can be controlled and not everything needs to be. The more you accept, the lighter you become. The lighter you become, the faster healing finds you. There is power in stillness. The kind of stillness that doesn't mean doing nothing, but being fully aware of everything that happens inside you. When you sit with yourself and let the emotions come without judgment, you begin to see the truth behind them. Pain turns into understanding. Anger turns into compassion. On the 9th of October, you are being asked to be brave enough to sit in that silence and let healing do its quiet work. No more running, no more pretending to be fine. Just awareness, presence, and peace with what is. Healing isn't a single moment. It's a flow that begins when you align with life instead of fighting against it. You may not see the changes immediately, but once resistance drops, your energy shifts, your breath deepens, your thoughts become clearer. You begin to notice that things no longer trigger you the same way. You start responding instead of reacting. That's how you know the process has started. On 9th October, this shift becomes visible, not because the date itself has power, but because you are finally ready to let go. There will always be pain in life. That can't be avoided. But suffering that comes from resistance, when you accept pain as part of the path, it loses its ability to control you. It stops being a wall and becomes a doorway. On the 9th of October, the door opens. You step through it not by forcing, but by allowing. Every breath you take in acceptance becomes a bridge toward freedom. Every moment you stop fighting becomes a step closer to peace. You've carried too much weight for too long. Regrets, guilt, disappointment, fear. Each of these things adds another layer of resistance around your heart. And yet your heart is still beating, still waiting, still ready to heal. The message of 9th October is simple: let the heart breathe again. Stop trying to explain your pain. Stop trying to fix every broken piece. Just allow life to hold you where you are. Healing is not found in effort, it's found in release. The past has already happened. It cannot be rewritten, but it can be understood. Acceptance does not mean approval, it means acknowledgement. It means you no longer let what happened define who you are becoming. On the 9th October, make peace with the past, not because it deserves forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom. Healing comes to those who choose to no longer fight yesterday. Every time you take a deep breath and let go of control, healing finds its way in. Every time you choose stillness over reaction, peace replaces chaos. Every time you accept life as it is, your energy aligns with something higher. That is the secret 9 October carries. It's not a day of magic. It's a day of realization. The realization that the war you were fighting was never with the world, it was with yourself. So on 9th October, stop resisting. Stop forcing things to make sense. Stop trying to heal through effort. Healing is not found in action, it is found in awareness. Let this be the day when you finally drop the weight, when you finally trust the process that was always waiting for your surrender. The peace you've been chasing will not come from outside. It begins within you the moment you decide to no longer resist life as it is. The 9th October is that moment, the moment healing finally finds you because you finally stopped hiding from it. 9th October carries a message that reaches deep into the heart, a message that says pain was never your enemy, pain was your teacher. Every scar, every heartbreak, every disappointment that brought you to this day was a lesson designed not to break you, but to open your understanding. The path to healing begins when you stop seeing pain as punishment and start seeing it as preparation. 9th October is the day to stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start realizing it happened for me. That single shift in awareness changes everything. Pain is the language life uses when you are no longer listening. It doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to awaken you. Every wound carries wisdom, but most people never stay long enough to hear what it's trying to say. They run from it, hide from it, or numb it, and so the lesson repeats until it's finally learned. 9th October reminds you that your healing will come the moment you stop running and start listening. Every ache in your heart is showing you what still needs attention, what still needs acceptance, and what still needs to be released. When you look back at the moments that hurt you most, you'll see something powerful. Those were the exact moments that shaped your strength. They stripped away illusions. They revealed who you truly are. Pain built the version of you that stands today. Without it, you would still be sleeping, still attached to what was never meant for you. On 9th October, you are called to recognize that your past pain was never wasted energy. It was a sacred teacher, disguised as chaos, guiding you toward awareness. Think of it this way: fire destroys, but it also purifies. The same flame that burns the forest allows new life to grow in its ashes. Pain works the same way. It burns away ego, pride, and illusions so that what is real can survive. 9th of October is the day that invites you to see the purity behind your pain. The day you stop cursing what burned you and start blessing it for what it revealed. Because in the end, you never lose through pain. You shed. You shed what was false, what was weak, what was ready to end. The human mind wants comfort, but the soul seeks growth, and growth rarely feels gentle. It comes through experiences that test your patience, your trust, and your strength. Every storm that entered your life came to build something inside you that peace never could. 9th October teaches that true healing begins when you stop asking for an easy life and start asking for an awakened one. Because awakening comes through friction. It comes when you are challenged to rise above your limitations. If you observe closely, you'll notice that every painful moment in your life carried a hidden gift. It showed you who you could rely on. It revealed your hidden strength. It forced you to face truths you had been avoiding. Pain has never been the problem, your resistance to it was. On 9th October, you are invited to see pain not as an obstacle but as a path. The same energy that once caused suffering becomes the very energy that fuels your transformation when you accept it fully. Healing through pain doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you allow it to teach you without letting it define you. You learn to sit with it, to breathe through it, to understand that it's temporary, purposeful, and necessary. And 9th October marks a turning point, the realization that you can hold your pain without collapsing under it. You can walk with it, talk with it, and learn from it until it no longer needs to stay. That is when healing begins, not when pain disappears, but when it transforms into wisdom. Pain humbles you. It brings you back to yourself. It strips away the noise, the pretending, the endless chasing of what doesn't matter. It reminds you that peace cannot be borrowed from the outside world. It grows only from within. On 9th October, allow that humility to become your power. Stop blaming the pain and start thanking it for showing you where your strength truly lives. Because strength that is never tested is only imagination. Pain proves what is real. Everything that hurt you was an invitation to rise. Every disappointment was a redirection towards something higher. Every loss cleared space for something greater to enter. The mind calls it suffering, but the soul calls it evolution. On the 9th of October, you step into that understanding. You stop identifying with your wounds and start identifying with your growth. The story changes from "I was hurt" to "I was transformed." That is the real power of healing, when your pain becomes your purpose. You are not the same person you were before life tested you. You've grown in silence, in struggle, in moments no one saw. The cracks in your spirit allowed the light to enter. 9th October is a reminder that nothing you've been through was meaningless. Every tear watered the roots of the strength you carry today. Every fall taught you how to rise without fear. The pain that once felt like the end was actually the beginning of your awakening. So when the memory of pain returns, don't resist it. Welcome it with awareness. Say thank you and let it move through you. Because now you know what it came to do. It came to teach. It came to refine. It came to awaken. And once the lesson is complete, pain dissolves on its own. It no longer needs to stay. That's why 9 October is sacred. It's the moment when pain stops being your enemy and becomes your greatest ally. The moment you realize that every scar on your heart was really a sign of growth, not a mark of defeat. And in that realization, healing finds you, finally, completely and forever. 9 October carries a quiet call, a call to return to silence. Not the kind of silence that comes from the absence of sound, but the silence that comes when the mind finally stops running. Healing finds you when you stop chasing noise, the noise of the world, the noise of opinions, the noise of fear. Silence is the medicine you've been ignoring. It's the space where all confusion begins to dissolve. 9th of October is the day to remember that peace does not enter through chaos, it enters through stillness. For too long, you've searched for healing in movement, in fixing, talking, explaining, comparing. You've tried to fill the silence with distractions because being alone with your thoughts felt uncomfortable. But growth never happens in noise. Noise keeps you spinning in circles, reacting to everything, hearing everyone, but never listening to yourself. Silence, however, brings you home. On the 9th of October, you are invited to stop trying to fill the space and simply be in it. Because in that still space, your true self begins to speak. When you are quiet, you begin to notice the truth, not the one others told you, but the one that has always been inside. You start to understand why things happened the way they did. You begin to see that life was never against you, it was guiding you. The silence between your thoughts holds more answers than the noise of 1,000 voices. 9th October reminds you that healing is not about doing more. It's about being more aware. Awareness can only grow in stillness. Silence is not emptiness, it is clarity. It's where you start to hear what's been buried under years of distraction. Every emotion you've ignored, every pain you've hidden, every dream you've silenced begins to rise to the surface in that calm. It's not always comfortable, but it's necessary because you cannot heal what you keep avoiding. 9th of October is the day to stop escaping into sound and step into the power of your own stillness. It's in that quiet that you begin to see the real you, without masks, without noise, without pretending. Most people are afraid of silence because it reveals the truth. It shows them the patterns they've been repeating. It shows them how much of their life has been lived on autopilot. But on 9th October, you're being asked to face that truth, not run from it. Because the moment you face it, you reclaim your direction. The noise of the world can make you forget what matters. Silence brings you back to your essence. When you live from that space, you no longer react to life, you respond to it with wisdom. Healing doesn't happen when you talk about peace, it happens when you sit in it. Silence repairs what words cannot reach. It reconnects you with your own rhythm. You start to breathe deeper, slower, more intentionally. You start to feel energy moving again. You start to sense that peace was never something you had to find. It was always waiting under the surface, beneath the clutter of constant thought. On the 9th October, you are being called to clear that clutter, to make space, because healing only enters where space is created for it. There is a moment when you sit in true silence that you realize how powerful simplicity really is. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to force anything. You just need to be present. That's when the shift happens. Your body relaxes, your heart opens, and your mind slows down. Silence heals because it brings you back into alignment with life's natural rhythm. 9th October reminds you to stop searching for answers outside and listen within. Every answer you've been looking for has been waiting patiently in your stillness. When you live surrounded by noise, you forget what peace feels like. You forget that your energy is sacred, that your attention is powerful. Silence teaches you to protect it, to observe without reacting, to understand without needing to control. The greatest form of strength is the ability to stay calm when everything around you demands a reaction. 9th October is the day to practice that strength, not through resistance, but through presence. The more silent you become, the more powerful your energy grows. Healing through silence doesn't mean isolation. It means awareness. It means you choose when to speak, when to listen, and when to simply be. It means your peace becomes more valuable than the need to prove yourself. On the 9th October, choose to pause before reacting, to breathe before responding, to stay centered when the world feels loud. Each moment of silence becomes a seed of healing planted deep within you. Over time, those seeds bloom into peace that no chaos can take away. The truth is, silence is not something you create, it's something you return to. It's your natural state. The space beneath all thoughts, all emotions, all movement. The place where you meet your soul. On the 9th October, let that silence return. Turn down the noise of opinions, comparisons, and expectations. Turn inward. Feel the calm beneath the storm. That's where healing begins. Not in the noise of the world, but in the quiet recognition of your own presence. You will notice that the more silent you become, the more clearly you see. The world slows down. The chaos loses its control. You stop reacting out of habit and start acting with awareness. Every decision becomes lighter, every emotion softer, every step more conscious. That is the transformation 9th October brings, the rebirth that begins in stillness. So let 9th October be the day you choose silence over noise, presence over distraction, stillness over chaos. Let it be the day you remember that you don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to listen to yourself. Healing doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers in the quietest moments, in the spaces where you finally stop trying and start being. When you enter that silence, peace finds you. And when peace finds you, healing follows without effort, without struggle, without noise, only stillness and the soft power of a mind at rest. 9th October carries the energy of release. It's the day that whispers, forgive, and walk free. You cannot heal in the same energy that caused your pain. Forgiveness is not for the one who hurt you. It is for the one still carrying the wound. As long as you hold resentment, your spirit stays chained to the past. The pain keeps replaying, the energy stays heavy, and peace cannot enter a heart filled with anger. 9th October is the day to let go of the story that has kept you trapped, to allow forgiveness to open the final door to your freedom. Forgiveness is one of the hardest lessons in life because it demands surrender. It asks you to release something that once defined you. It asks you to stop feeding the memory that has been living inside your heart for too long. On the 9th October, life is reminding you that holding on to what hurt you is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. You cannot move forward with clenched fists. Healing starts the moment you open your hands and let it go. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is not pretending nothing happened. It is choosing peace over pain, wisdom over pride, and growth over revenge. It means you no longer allow the past to write your present. 9th October gives you the chance to take back your power. The power you gave away to anger, bitterness, and resentment. The moment you forgive, you cut the energetic tie that binds you to the person or event that caused the wound. You stop carrying what no longer belongs to you. Resentment is heavy. It lives in the mind. It tightens the chest. It clouds the heart. It keeps you connected to the past version of yourself, the one who was hurt, betrayed, or disappointed. But 9th October is not about the old you. It's about the new one. The one who has seen enough pain to understand that holding on only delays your healing. Forgiveness is the bridge between the pain that broke you and the peace that rebuilds you. When you forgive, you don't excuse what happened. You outgrow it. You no longer need the apology that never came. You no longer wait for closure from others because you have created it within yourself. 9th October reminds you that forgiveness is not about changing the past, it's about freeing your future. The moment you stop waiting for someone else to make things right, you reclaim your control. You begin to walk lighter, think clearer, and breathe deeper. There's a quiet strength that comes with forgiveness. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand. It simply says, I release you and I release myself. That's the essence of 9th of October. The realization that peace cannot enter a heart full of grudges. To heal, you must create space. And to create space, you must let go of what is no longer serving your evolution. Forgiveness cleanses your energy. It removes the noise of bitterness and replaces it with clarity and compassion. Think about how much of your energy has been spent revisiting old stories, replaying the same conversations in your mind, carrying the same emotional weight. Each time you relive it, you give it life again. But when you forgive, that cycle breaks. The mind quiets, the body relaxes, the soul expands. On the 9th of October, the energy supports this inner release. It's a reminder that freedom doesn't come from control, it comes from surrender. Forgiving others is only half of the journey. The other half is forgiving yourself. The mistakes you made when you didn't know better, the chances you didn't take, the people you held on to for too long, all of it needs your compassion. Healing cannot find you if you're still punishing yourself for the past. 9th October invites you to treat yourself with the same kindness you've been giving to others. The same patience, the same love. You cannot grow while carrying guilt like a stone on your back. Let it fall. Forgive yourself and you will begin to rise again. Forgiveness is freedom in its purest form. It breaks the invisible chains that keep you attached to pain. When you forgive, you return to peace, and peace is where your true power lies. 9th October is not about forgetting what happened. It's about remembering who you are beyond what happened. The moment you decide to forgive, the energy around you shifts, the wounds start to close, and your heart becomes lighter. The universe responds to that vibration. Healing begins to flow where resistance once lived. There's something sacred about choosing peace when anger would be easier. It shows that you've grown beyond reaction. It shows that you understand life on a deeper level. Forgiveness does not erase your story. It refines it. It turns pain into wisdom, loss into understanding, and endings into beginnings. 9th October marks that transformation, the moment where the weight finally lifts, not because something outside changed, but because you did. When you forgive, you no longer need to explain your peace. You simply live it. You walk differently, you speak differently, and your energy feels lighter. People will feel it before you say a word. That is the silent power of forgiveness. On the 9th October, let that power rise within you. Let it cleanse you of old memories and old pain. Let it guide you back to yourself. Forgiveness is the final act of healing. It is the closing of a chapter that no longer needs to be reread. It is the silent declaration that says, I choose peace, I choose freedom, I choose to move forward. And when you make that choice on 19th October, everything begins to change. The past loses its grip, the heart opens again, and life begins to flow in harmony. Forgiveness doesn't just heal what was broken, it reveals the strength that was always waiting underneath. On the 9th October, let that strength rise. Let forgiveness free you completely. 9th October arrives as a reminder that your body and your mind are not separate worlds. They speak the same language, and one always listens to the other. When the mind keeps replaying the wound, the body cannot rest. It continues to live in tension, in defense, in fear. Every thought becomes a signal, every emotion becomes energy, and that energy settles into the body like weight. Healing cannot enter where the body is still protecting itself from memories. 9th October is the day to stop repeating the story of pain and allow the body to remember peace. The mind loves to return to what hurt it. It replays conversations, imagines different outcomes, holds on to regret. It believes that by thinking enough, it can control what has already happened. But what the mind doesn't realize is that this constant replay keeps the wound open. The more you relive the pain in your thoughts, the more your body believes the threat is still real. The heart beats faster, the muscles tighten, the breath shortens. 9th October invites you to stop feeding the body with thoughts of suffering. The danger has passed. But the mind has not told the body yet. Healing begins the moment you teach your body that it is safe again. And that begins with awareness. When you notice yourself returning to the old story, pause, take a breath, remind yourself it's over. The body listens. The cells respond. Peace begins with simple recognition. A 9th October carries the energy of this recognition, the point where you stop reacting from old wounds and start responding from wisdom. Your body is the most honest part of you. It carries everything the mind refuses to release. Every moment of stress, every hidden emotion, every unspoken truth finds its place somewhere in your shoulders, your stomach, your breath. It remembers, but 9 October is not about remembering pain. It's about rewriting that memory. The body heals when the mind stops sending signals of fear. When you stop thinking in survival and start breathing in freedom. So many people live in constant tension because their minds are trapped in yesterday. They wake up already tired, not because of the work ahead, but because of the weight behind. The stories of betrayal, disappointment, and loss become a loop of energy that the body never escapes. A 9th October comes as the moment to break that loop, to release the need to revisit pain and allow your body to finally rest in the present. Healing flows naturally when the mind stops resisting what already happened. When you quiet the mind, the body starts to relax. When the body relaxes, the heart opens, and when the heart opens, the spirit rises. This is the chain of true healing. It's not a miracle that arrives suddenly. It's a gentle process of alignment. On the 9th October, allow yourself to slow down and breathe deeply. Every breath becomes a signal of safety. Every exhale tells the body it no longer needs to fight. The moment you choose calm over chaos, healing begins to move through you. The mind's greatest illusion is control. It believes that if it keeps thinking about the wound, it can prevent it from happening again. But what really happens is the opposite. The body stays trapped in that energy, reliving it endlessly. 9th October teaches you that control is not the path to peace. Letting go is. The body is designed to heal itself. It only needs you to stop interrupting the process with fear. When you live in awareness, you begin to notice how thoughts shape your energy. A peaceful thought slows the breath. A fearful thought tightens it. A grateful thought expands the chest. Every thought becomes a message to the body. On a 9th October, choose thoughts that calm, not thoughts that wound. Choose stillness instead of replaying. The body will follow. It doesn't need words, it needs permission. Healing is not about forgetting what happened. It's about changing the relationship you have with it. The mind can keep the memory, but it no longer has to keep the pain. The body can remember the lesson, but it doesn't have to hold the tension. 9th October represents this balance, the harmony between remembering and releasing. When you stop seeing your pain as your identity, the body begins to loosen its grip. It begins to trust life again. You must learn to talk to your body through your actions, not through your fears. Rest when you are tired. Breathe when you are anxious. Move when you feel heavy. Listen when your body whispers. 9th October calls for this kind of awareness, gentle, present, compassionate. When you take care of the body, the mind naturally follows. When you calm the mind, the body feels lighter. They heal together, always in unity. Every time you choose peace over worry, you reprogram the relationship between your mind and your body. Every time you choose forgiveness, your heartbeat steadies. Every time you let go of a negative thought, your energy rises. The connection is simple but powerful. 9th October is the perfect moment to start honoring that connection, to stop ignoring your body's voice, to stop letting your mind drown it in noise. Healing does not come from thinking. It comes from feeling, from breathing, from being. The truth is, your body has been waiting for you to slow down, to stop fighting, to stop rethinking, to stop resisting. It knows how to heal. It always has. It just needs space, silence, and trust. On the 9th of October, give it that space. Let the mind rest, let the body breathe, and let your energy realign with peace. When the mind stops replaying the wound, the body stops reliving it. When both are free, healing becomes natural, effortless, and whole. That is the message of 9th of October. The day when you stop thinking about pain and start feeling peace. The day when the mind finally releases its grip and the body finally exhales. Healing finds you not through control, but through surrender. And once it does, both your mind and your body begin to live as one again, light, free, and completely alive. 9th of October carries the vibration of surrender, the kind that is not weak, not passive, but deeply powerful. Healing finds you when you finally choose to receive it. Many people spend their entire lives chasing healing, searching for peace, waiting for signs, repeating the same affirmations, but still feeling empty inside. The reason is simple. You cannot receive what you are still trying to control. On the 9th of October, you are being reminded to stop chasing, stop fighting, and simply open your heart. Healing is not something you force. It is something you allow. When you chase healing, you send a message to the universe that you are broken. But you are not broken. You are becoming. The more you try to fix yourself, the more you feed the illusion that something is wrong with you. 9th of October comes to tell you that there is nothing to fix, only things to release. Healing is already on its way to you. It just cannot enter a heart that is still closed in fear. To receive healing, you must soften, you must trust, and you must allow life to meet you where you are. The energy of 9th October is gentle yet powerful. It does not push, it flows. It teaches that healing is not achieved by effort, but by alignment. When you align with peace, you naturally become healed. When you align with love, you naturally become whole. Life is not asking you to do more. It's asking you to be more open, to stop standing in your own way. Healing finds you when you are finally still enough to let it. There comes a moment when you realize that all your effort, all your struggle, all your resistance has been keeping you from what you truly seek. You cannot force flowers to bloom, and you cannot rush healing. You can only create the conditions for it to arrive through stillness, trust, and surrender. And 9th of October is that sacred moment when you decide to stop forcing and start flowing. You begin to understand that healing was never about effort, it was about energy. To receive healing means to trust the process of life. even when it doesn't make sense. It means accepting that you may not have all the answers, but still choosing peace. It means releasing control and realizing that some things will never be solved by thought, only by faith. On a 9th October, life invites you to rest in this faith, to stop questioning when things will change and start believing that they already are. The universe begins to move the moment you stop resisting its rhythm. Healing cannot find the one who keeps running. It finds the one who is still open, ready to receive. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is nothing, not because you've given up, but because you finally understood that peace is found in presence, not pursuit. On the 9th October, allow yourself to stop trying to heal. Just be. Sit with yourself, breathe, and let life move through you. That is where true transformation begins. When you open your heart, even slightly, healing flows in like light through a crack in the wall. It doesn't ask for perfection, it only asks for permission. 9th October reminds you that healing is not earned, it's received. It's not about deserving peace, and it's about remembering that you were always worthy of it. You don't need to become anything new to heal. You only need to return to what you already are, whole, complete, and capable of renewal. You may have spent years thinking healing would come through effort, through doing more, achieving more, understanding more. But healing has always been waiting in the moments you ignored the silence after the storm, the breath between thoughts, the gentle acceptance of what is. 9th October invites you to rediscover those moments. It's not about adding anything to yourself. It's about removing the walls that have been blocking the light. When you receive healing, it doesn't mean your past disappears. It means your relationship with it changes. You stop seeing your wounds as punishment and begin to see them as teachers. You no longer live in reaction, you live in awareness. 9th October marks this shift from seeking to receiving, from resistance to acceptance. You begin to notice that the more you let go, the more peace arrives. Healing becomes effortless because it's no longer something you do, it's something you embody. To allow healing in, you must trust life again. Trust that everything that left was meant to. Trust that every delay had purpose. Trust that every ending was preparing space for something new. 9th October is the reminder that trust is not naive, it's powerful. It's the foundation of all healing. When you trust, your energy softens. When your energy softens, life flows easily again. Healing finds you the moment you decide to stop questioning your path and start walking it with faith. Many people wait for healing as if it is something external, a miracle, a breakthrough, a sign. But healing is not outside of you. It is within you, waiting for your permission to surface. 9 October carries the energy that awakens this truth. It's the day to stop seeking miracles and start recognizing that you are one. Every cell in your body is designed for renewal. Every breath you take is a chance to begin again. Healing doesn't come with noise or drama. It arrives quietly when you least expect it, in the moment you finally surrender. It's not about winning against your pain, it's about making peace with it. It's not about fixing your life, it's about allowing life to work through you. On the 9th October, allow this flow. Don't resist. Don't question. Don't chase. Just open your heart. Healing will find you the moment you are ready to receive. 9th October is not just another date. It's a doorway. The doorway where you stop searching outside and turn inward. The moment you stop pushing for peace and begin living it. The moment you realize that healing was never gone. You were just too busy holding on. Let go and healing will meet you. Let 9th October be the day you open your heart to receive what was always meant for you. Peace, balance, and the silent joy of being whole again.